Hi folks, Mike here, the Security Silverback, and in this session I'm going to continue a bit of the email security thread we started last episode. But before we get into it, hit those subscribe and notification buttons so you'll know when I release the next episode, and if you can give it a like and a comment at the end, I'd really appreciate it. But now, back to email security. In the last session, I talked about how a solid phishing-resistant multi-factor authentication scheme could help you avoid having your account compromised. But I also mentioned that threat actors do have ways around that, which is what brings us to this session. The FBI has released an advisory about it, specifically how threat actors are using session cookies to bypass multi-factor authentication, and more importantly, what you can do about it. Now, we all know what cookies are, those persistent chunks of text websites leave with us to track everything from our advertising preferences to our identities to whatever else they want to keep tabs on from session to session. The specific problem here is session cookies that are used to log into a site without having to enter your login information each time. These are the ones that get dropped when you hit "Remember me on this device." And those are the ones that threat actors are stealing to impersonate you in services like Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, AOL, and a host of others. They're convenient as hell, which is why so many of us use them. But if a threat actor can get their hands on the cookie, well, you know where that goes. The thing is, having to log in fresh each time we go to check on our email or any of the other services we rely on for this sort of cookie is a pain, which is why we clicked "Remember me" in the first place. Fortunately, threat actors aren't just arbitrarily pulling these cookies from random traffic. In most cases, they're using malware to steal them, which naturally requires them to have managed somehow to infect the target. That'll be you. How they do it isn't the important part of this session. What is important is that the FBI is reporting increased incidences of these attacks, but is providing advice on how to mitigate them. And their advice is actually pretty straightforward. Regularly clear your browser cookies. Understand the risk with that whole "remember me" thing. Do not click on suspicious links and don't go to sites that don't support HTTPS. And finally, monitor your login histories to see if there's anything suspicious. All pretty basic, really, and they are all the things we know we should be doing, even if we don't always do them. The point about not clicking on suspicious links and only using HTTPS traffic aren't specific to this cookie theft issue. It's something you should be practicing anyway to avoid being phished or infected with malware regardless. While there is a push on to develop cookies that are linked to specific devices, which would go a long way to resisting this attack, the reality is this is still a very real issue. So what can you do about it? The two proactive steps the FBI recommends are straightforward, easy, and kind of a pain. Namely, regularly clearing your cached cookies and considering skipping using "Remember me" in the first place. Clearing your cache means the server won't automatically log you in and will force you to go through the usual login process. Yes, it is a minor annoyance, especially if you have MFA enabled, which you should. But from a security perspective, it is worth the effort. Not enabling "Remember me" in the first place will completely eliminate this kind of an attack. There's no session cookies for them to steal. However, it's at the expense of having to log in every time you want to access your email or whatever system you're accessing. It's the classic trade-off between convenience and security, which, probably to our detriment, convenience usually wins. Fortunately, Gmail at least, offers a log out of all devices option that lets you accomplish the same thing without losing all the other cookies you might want to keep. Now, David Winder over on Forbes recommends opening a second Gmail account not to prevent the attack, which it won't, but to mitigate the damage in case it does happen. To be fair, I'm not sure that creating a forwarded email dump is the better solution than keeping a local archive. I've included a link below to this article, and he's got some step-by-step directions on activating Gmail's advanced protections. I might actually do a how-to video on that myself in the near future. But that's it for now, though, as I want to rein in just how long these have been getting. Until next time, hit that like button, let me know what you think in the comments, and, as always, stay safe.